how do I teach my child to read? This is a question that everybody asks us here at the Story Frog. So we thought we'd do a quick video just to talk to you about 5 things that you can do to get your child ready to read. And these 5 things, we're going to use the word story for the Story Frog, obviously, to make it really easy to remember the 5 things. So the first one is for speaking and listening. So speaking, we all know, is a really important thing to do with your baby from when they're very little. We're all encouraged to speak as much as we can to our child and to use facial expressions so that they can use language. But the other side of that, the listening side, is something that we feel that gets neglected a lot of the time. And actually most children are born with the ability to hear, but not necessarily the ability to listen. And that's a skill that they need to develop, just like speaking, throughout time, and it takes time to do that. So one way that you can help your child to listen is just by stopping with them in the environment, listening to sounds around you, see if they can distinguish between different sounds, see if they can name them and identify what they are, and just doing that regularly with them. Another thing that you can do is modelling good listening. So we're always talking at our children, and I know I'm always chatting away. Actually just taking that time to model what a listener looks like. Sit and listen to what your child has to say, and they will be picking up that from you, how they can be a really good listener as well. Another thing that you can do, you can actually go and get lots of listening games. I love a charity shop, so I'm always in the charity shop looking at educational games and sort of picking out the best ones, and there's some really great listening ones. We play one all the time that's called Sound Bingo, where a child listens to the sounds and then they can actually try and identify those sounds in the game as well, and that's really interesting to sort of just unpick which sound your child actually recognises. So that's a really important thing to do. The second one is for time. So time obviously is very precious nowadays. We're all running here, there and everywhere, but just spending the time with your child, effectively just play with them, and actually play is how children learn. So a lot of parents, they sort of dust off the old notebook and pen when they think it's time to start writing with their child, or learning to read, and they'll get out their sound cards or what have you and sit at the table with them, and actually it's not the best use of your time. You'd be better off just playing with your child and introducing reading and stories and books in a really play-based way. Similarly with mark making, having really fun, exciting, engaging activities to play with your children. So have a look on Pinterest, have a look on Story Frog Phonics website, so www.thestoryfrogphonics.com. You can also have a look on our Facebook pages. If you type in the Story Frog, you can find your local Story Frog teacher. There's loads of photos on there and loads of ideas of different things that you can do in a play-based way to get your child mark making, to get them reading words, recognising sounds, listening games, all those sorts of things. So really make it play-based and fun. Get down on their level with them and make sure that you're spending that time with them. That time is so precious. They're only little for such a short amount of it, and you want their first experiences of literacy, of books, of writing, of reading to be really fun and engaging, so that when they do start school, they love it already. You know, their first experience of writing should not be sitting down with a pen and paper in a school environment. Their first experience of reading shouldn't be in a guided reading book in a reception classroom. It should be with you at home. So you know you're doing all of that kind of stuff anyway, but just really take your foot off the gas with the pressure. Don't worry too much about what other parents are doing. Don't compare your child to other children. All children are completely different. You know, the idea that all children develop at the same rate is ridiculous. They don't. Actually, it's all about play and engagement at this stage. So spending time with your child is really the way to make sure that they love stories and love reading and writing as much as you do. Is for oral blending. So oral blending, bit of an enigma for a lot of parents, don't really know what it is and what it's for. So oral blending is just the ability to listen to those sounds and bring them together. So for example, if you say to your child cat, hopefully they'll be able to hear that is cat. If they're not able to do that, that means that they're not blending those sounds together in their head yet, and that's called oral blending. So for a lot of children, they'll have that skill kind of automatically, you know, randomly they'll be able to do it. But for some children, it'll actually be something that takes a long time to develop. Both are normal, but really, really important that parents are aware of oral blending. There's absolutely no point in teaching your child all the sounds and them not being able to blend them together because they won't be able to read. So make sure you're teaching the two things simultaneously. So a couple of games that you can play. So one of them is a physical game, so get them to put their fingers on their d, get them to put their hands on their ip. So really physical way of introducing oral blending to them. Another thing you can do is play sort of a treasure hunt based game with them, where you say to them, can you go and get me a k up? Can you go and get me a p e n? Another thing that you can do is play I Spy. We play this all the time in the car. Instead of normal I Spy, we play it with oral blending. So I'll say to my child, can you see a t r e? Can you see a h ouse? Can you see a k up? That's oral blending. So really make sure that you're doing that all the time, and as I say, hopefully if your child knows less sounds but they can oral blend at the same time, then that's great and you're cracking it. So the next one is R for reading. So once your child can orally blend and they know some sounds, they're ready to read. Hooray! So when you're reading with your child, obviously read little and often, quality reading, short bursts, think about their age, think about your expectation in terms of concentration to be similar to their age. So if they're 3 minutes, if they're 4 minutes, if they're 5 minutes. So thinking about making sure that you're not spending too long. If you're pulling your hair out reading with them, then you've spent too long doing it. If you're frustrated, they're frustrated. And actually at the Story Frog, we really believe that, you know, the expectations that we're setting children is far too high, far too young, and lots of children just aren't ready to read yet, and that's okay. It's about watching your child and seeing what they're ready to do and making sure it's really fun for them and they love it. We don't need children in the future that are just able to decode words, just able to spell really well, just have perfect grammar. It's not about that. It's about fun, engagement, enjoyment, loving books, loving stories, and that's what we're all about here at the Story Frog. So making sure that when you are reading with them, those experiences are really positive early on. And the last one is, yes, you've done it. But also just to remember praise and positivity. So make sure that whatever your child has achieved in that day or in that week or in that month, you know, you're really positive about it and you heap praise on them. As we said, all children are different. They're not all the same. They're not all going to reach the end of year expectation in nursery and reception at the same rate, at the same time, on the same day. And actually, we don't want them to. Where there is strength, there is always weakness, and vice versa. So if you've got a child that's reading really well, that's your friend's child, and you're thinking, why can't my child read like that child? They'll be stronger in other areas. They might be really imaginative, and because of all the play that you've done with them, they might be really good at language, and then later on they'll be a really confident writer. So try not to compare your child with other children. Try and stay positive, and if you need any more support or advice, you can go onto our website, www.thestoryfrogphonics.com. We've also got a really lovely course book if you want to know more, or if you want to follow our programme and you're not able to attend your local Story Frog class, or even if you are and you just wanted to follow the course at home. It's a course that works through all the different sounds with our beautiful illustrations in there as well. All of the different skills are in there, so oral blending, segmenting. It's a progressive course, and it's designed to take any child from a non-reader to a reader. So you can pick up a copy of that on our website, and you can also get it on Amazon. If you type in the Story Frog Phonics, it will come up as well. Copies of that really will help you to just back up and give you ideas as well. At the end of every section, there's a little idea of what you can do in terms of activities and play-based fun things to do with them as well. So it's all about fun, it's all about positivity. Love books, love stories. Thank you very much.